Hi everyone, I'm Jessie, and thank you so much for joining our third Women in STEM seminar. Our seminar basically invites guest speakers who are female, either working in STEM-related areas or is currently majoring in STEM-related majors. We ask them to share any experience they have in STEM-related areas and just to give any general advice to high school and middle school students. And so today we have an amazing guest speaker, Mildred O. Young, who is currently majoring in ISOM at Emory University. Also, if you haven't checked out our previous two seminars, I linked them in the comment section, so feel free to access them. And so yeah, let's get started.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Mildred O. Young, and I'm currently a senior at Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. And I study business and computer science. In business school, I study information systems and operations management, and we usually call it ISOM. And also in the past summer, I interned at Comcast, and I work for the IT department as a business analyst. Thank you.
Okay, so first we can start with the college-related questions. So the first question that we have is, how do you like the school culture of Emory?
Yeah, actually, to be honest with you, Emory was not one of my top choice when I applied to college, and I did not really have an expectation of Emory when I just came here. However, once I spent already almost 4 years here, I feel that Emory is definitely the choice for me because with this size of a university, I can get a lot of help from my peers and also my professors. And all the professors at Emory, they're very friendly and helpful. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to ask them. And they're really, really willing and happy to help you in any ways. So I found a lot of help and I developed my academic interest at Emory. So I would say Emory's culture is very inclusive and very friendly and helpful.
Oh, yeah. So the second question that we have is, can you introduce your major, information system and operation management, a little bit, and how do you like it?
Yeah, so probably a lot of people's not familiar with ISOM. So um, for our major, maybe we can I can use another name. Probably you will be more familiar, which is data science and also supply chain. So basically, what ISOM taught us is about introduce us to the world of data science, data analytics, and also supply chain management. So in my area of depth, which is ISOM, I took course, learned about the basic business analytics, and also I learned about the basics of supply chain. So I would say ISOM is an area that teaches how we can apply technology and data and information into business management.
So you mentioned ISOM is much like data science or supply chain engineering. So how do you think it would be different than maybe pure data science or computer science major?
Yeah, so I would say ISON, I will put it in this way. So ISON actually has two tracks within itself. One is more toward the supply chain side and one is toward the business analytics side. And so how it's different from the pure data science part is that actually my university does not have a data science major. So I know some of my friends who took stats and also who's majoring in math that and then end up in the data science field. I would say in ISON, the data science part is more toward the application of data science. So we learn how we can utilize some softwares and some tools to help us conduct business analytics. And we also focus on the reporting side of business analytics. So for example, I took a class which taught us how to use Tableau, which is a data visualization software, how we can build the dashboards using Tableau to do some presentation. So that's one of the very useful course I had as one of my majors course in the business school. So I would say probably data science in business school, it's more toward the application side. But for the pure data science major, it's more toward building the model, learn how you can create a linear regression model, for example, using using a data set. So that's more toward the, I would say, the background knowledge part of data science. And in business school, we also need to learn those. We need to understand those. But however, we focus more on the application side.
Yeah, so elaborating a bit more on the first question, you mentioned that you developed your academic interest in Emory. So do you recall any specific school organization or internship that helped contribute to your interest?
Yeah, so actually, I developed my academic interests through my courses. So I did not know that I was going to do computer science and data science in the future, but it was, I remember in my sophomore year, actually, I took my first ever CS course in the university. And throughout that course, I just found all the logics behind coding just made sense to me. And I just feel really enjoyable staying in that class. So that's how I decide I'm gonna do more of it. I'm gonna learn more of it. And also for my interest in data science, I actually developed through my past internship at Comcast. To be honest, before joining Comcast, I did not really, I just learned from my university's courses what data science is, but I did not actually apply, I did not get a lot of chance to apply data science in my daily life. So it was really the internship at Comcast that really lead me into the real world of data science, how that's used in the daily businesses. And that's where I found data science is very powerful and it's definitely the future, I believe. So I will study more of it and I'm interested to learn more about it too.
Yeah, so I think next we can go into the college application related questions. So the first question is that what do you think that make you stand out among applicants to Emory?
Yeah, so because well, I did not really know. I did not go to the admission office to ask the reason why I got accepted. So uh, so what I'm going to say is really just based on my personal analysis to myself. So I would say for me, probably it's my I won't say like one factor will decide whether or not you can get to college. It's really about like all the factors about you together that make you a strong applicant. So I would say probably some strong factors I have is first my GPA. So I have a pretty high GPA in high school, and also some of my some of my extracurricular also helped me because I believe the colleges don't want to see you just know how to study, but they also want to see what you do in your leisure time. They want to know more about you and want to see that you're a well-rounded student. So I also did some extracurricular. I'm really interested in photography and painting. So I actually did some photography and painting work while I was in high school. And I also I play golf. I play golf. I was in the golf team while I was in high school, and Yeah, so that's together, I believe, what made me a strong applicant. So it's not just one factor that decide whether or not I can get in, but it's all together.
Yeah, so the next question that we have is that do you notice any significant ratio between female and male at your school?
Yeah, so actually, Emory is a really diverse and inclusive school. We actually have more female students than male students. So we have, I just checked before this meeting, we have around 60% of female students and only 40% of male students. So definitely female is more dominant at our university. So yeah, I'm pretty proud because Emory, Emory strongly support diversity and inclusion. And also for my major wise, I would say computer science. This go with the general trend. Usually we don't have like official stats, but usually see more male students than female students in my computer science classes. In business school, there is around the same ratio of female and male students.
Yeah, so if you can give some advice to high school students who are maybe planning to apply to STEM, what would you recommend to them?
I would say go with STEM. STEM is, I believe, the right direction. Also, elaborate how you're passionate about STEM and try to do well of all the things you choose to do. And don't give up so easily because you never know what's gonna happen if you don't go to the end. So I'll say keep going. Yes.
Yeah, so then we can go to the STEM related questions. And so the first one is that when did you first become interested in tech, and was there a moment that you knew you were going to major in ISOM?
Yeah, so for me actually, well, I would say I actually never really leave STEM area because when I was a freshman, I was actually thinking about doing physics and engineering as my major. However, I did not choose that because I just found computer science more attractive to me. But I never really leave the STEM field, and it was actually my CS course, my first CS course in college that really made me think that I should go into computer science.
Do you recall any STEM related activities that you've done in high school? Or do you remember what was the first activity that you involved in STEM?
Well, actually, for me, because I never really think about going to um, I was in computer science in university, and also in my high school. I did not really recall I did a lot of STEM related activities. However, even though I didn't do a lot of them, but what I think my high school environment definitely affect me of choosing STEM because I remember all of my friends in high school, they were involved in Girls Who Code, and also they had some hackathons, those activities. So I was surrounded by those friends, even though I did not really participate into those activities, but I remember them talking about that. I saw the flyers everywhere. So that was really that really made me think more about STEM and going to STEM area. So I would say even though I did not participate in those activities, but all of my friends around me they were doing those. So I was kind of um, I was kind of immersed in those environments. So yeah, that definitely has some effect on me.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, most of our audience are high school students, especially female high school students. So would you recommend any organization or activities for them?
Yeah, so I definitely encourage them to join Girls Who Code. And also just the computer science club for those. And also if you don't have those, if your high school don't have those organizations, I really encourage you guys to start your own. Because what I did in high school, even though it's not really directly related to STEM, but since I play golf, and there's not a lot of female golf players just in general in my high school did not have a girls golf team, so I was the one who started to encourage all the girls who play golf to start a petition to create a girls golf team, a women's golf team at my high school. So I was the one leading that. So I encourage all the girls to start your own organization if you don't have those at your high schools. So it's you can definitely make a change. You can definitely create opportunities for yourself. So I encourage you to join those organizations if they're available at your high school, and if they're not, I really encourage you to start one on your own. And you can also fund other schools, organizations to help you create those at your high school.
That's very good advice. And so has there been any point where you feel like you want to give up STEM, or and what made you stay?
Yeah, so there was actually a point that I was going to give up STEM. It was while I was taking some physics classes in my freshman year of college. So at that point, I did not really enjoy what I was studying, and I was thinking about switching majors. And so business was one of the options that I considered. And I'm still doing it now, but also I'm doing computer science. So at the point when I was going to give up physics, I took a computer science course. And that's what brought me back to STEM. Because after taking that computer science course, I found out that I'm really interested into learning more about computer science, and the logic of computer science and everything just makes sense to me. And so it was really my interest in computer science that brought me back to STEM. That's my story. So I would say definitely interest is will be one of your biggest driver into pursuing STEM.
Yeah, so one of our second to last question is, what does STEM mean to you? Has it changed your life in a bit?
Yeah, actually, so STEM, I think I live in a family that's very encouraging into pursuing the STEM area, because my grandma, she was a doctor, and she was a Chinese doctor, and back at her time when she was studied at medical school in China, there were not a lot of female medical students, so she was one of the few. And she never, when I was growing up with her, she never discouraged me from pursuing the industry or the area of study that's dominated by male students. She never discouraged me from doing that. She instead encouraged me to pursue what I'm really interested in. And also my mom, she also studied applied math in at her university. And she actually did some of the computer science and database too. And that she actually really encouraged me to go into STEM, and she always helped me when I was struggle with my math problems. I would say my family background just gave me a lot of support into going to STEM. And so for me, STEM just means a part of me. And also right now, to me, now I'm in the STEM field by myself. what STEM means to me is it's like magic, because for me you can make anything happen with STEM. Now we have computers, but back like 50 years, we did not have computer, and so STEM created that, and STEM is like magic. And also there is the outer space to explore, and it's all done by STEM related majors. And so I would say it's magic to me now, because it can bring us discover the unknowns. Yeah, so that's what STEM means to me now.
Yeah, so our last question, do you have any general advice to the audience?
Yeah, so I would say since the audience are mostly high school students, I will encourage them to really try out what they're interested in, and never be afraid that you're not probably good at anything, but just try it out. Maybe you found that you can do it really well. Well, because for me, actually, I did not think I can do well in computer science. I did not think I can never give up in computer science. But I tried it, and I discovered, yeah, that's the thing I'm gonna do probably for the rest of my life. So I would say never say no to yourself before not trying it, and always just and also don't stress too much about your college applications, because you will definitely end up in a university that's the most, I think, fitted for you. You just never know. So don't be too stressful about your college applications. You will definitely get into a place you will love.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. It was very enlightening.
No problem. Thank you for inviting me to this
Thank
meeting.
you.